So this e-reader is 6 inches. It features an e-ink pearl display. The resolution is 1024 by 758. It has a 1 gigahertz processor. It has 8 gigs of internal memory, but it is running Android,
Yes,
so you
it
only
is.
have roughly about 5 gigs
Yeah.
all in all. So spec-wise, front light, it reads EPUB,
Yep.
Mobies, PDF.
Yeah.
It pretty well reads every mainstream ebook format. So there's a lot of things going for it.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the hardware.
The look of it is not the greatest. It looks very round and bar of soap-ish, especially because it's very bulbousy, but the quality is there. It's very nice hard rubber plastic at the back. You have a nice chrome outlined heart that's very reflective. I thought it was a check mark. I mean, it looks like a check mark, but apparently it's a heart because of these stickers they give you. I heart energy and I heart books, so fine, it's a heart. On the bottom, we have a power button, a LED charge indicator, 3.5mm headphone jack, a hard reset button, a micro USB, and a micro SD card.
Yeah, this is brimming with like stuff, right?
Yeah. On the front, you get a left, back and forward, depending on which handed you are. Dominantly, you have a refresh, and you have a back button. So, touchscreen, physical page turn buttons, audio, lots of good stuff. Hardware is all there, but how does the software stack up to that?
This is the main UI. Recently added and recently read. They change depending on what books you are reading, have finished, or have recently loaded on the device. There's no bookstore preloaded on this, but you can see here that these UI elements are fairly consistent. Your home, back, front light, Wi-Fi, time. Now, this is running Android, so you do have the same type of functionality as you would on a phone or a tablet.
This should all look very familiar to you because it is using the same fonts and layout as Android.
Right, so this is 4.2.2, so fairly modern by e-reader versions.
This should all look very similar. Storage settings, Wi-Fi, apps. You can manage your apps from here because you see we've Adobe Flash Player was preloaded. We loaded our App Store and Facebook, so there'll be a couple things there.
Yeah, so there's no App Store preloaded on the device, but some of the built-in apps include Google Drive, Gmail, and then you have like your music player and everything like that. So we'll just quickly open up our App Store, just like a demonstration. So this will allow you to basically like install anything that you want. We do have an apps compatible with e-ink section here. So any of the apps that you would see here would work. So Kobo, Cool Reader, 4Pix One Word, Nook.
And what you would do is just click on the app itself, click download, and it downloads right to your device. It'll give you a prompt to install and then open the app, and it immediately opens. So it's all encompassing, all in one.
Yeah, so because there's no bookstore here, you definitely want to install like third-party bookstores if you want to do business with other companies, or you can just install like third-party apps and like, you know, load in your own books that you downloaded from the internet.
But to get those bookstores and apps, you got to go through Good eReader to actually install them.
Right. So let's take a look at the e-reading experience, because this is what this is all about.
So there's a lot of stock books. I've noticed third-party, like Eastern European e-readers, they always give you a lot of books. They always stack it up with tons of books. So this is a preloaded book here. We'll just do some clicking around and see what we have. So we have quite a bit of settings. You can go to what content and bookmarks and notes and manage all those once you start making notes and highlights. If you long press on something, you start your copy, note, highlight, or digest. Click on digest, show you what that does. Gives you a highlight. So you can also box a lot of text by pulling these anchors. You see you can box quite a bit.
Seems to be some bugs with the anchors.
Yeah, absolutely. You can of course turn your glow light on, and we'll show you this in a separate video, the glow light test, but you'll see that it does have glow light capabilities. We'll leave that off for now as to not mess with the camera. This is where you change your font sizes. Size is a little strange. It starts at like 34, 38, so a little bit weird there. Line spacing, you have multiple choices of line spacing. You can go 1.8 all the way down to 0.8, make it real tight. Font size, type, bold, normal. Font styles, 5 pages of fonts.
Wow.
5 pages. That's a lot.
I think it's because just Android bundles with like all of like the Droid versions of it. So like sans serif, Times New Roman. It's like
exactly
the Android equivalents.
Then you have font borders, auto page turns. You have rotate in 4 directions.
Because this doesn't have an accelerometer or gyroscope, so
Yeah.
if you want to read in landscape mode, you need to basically do it with the software.
Exactly. A little bit of information. And of course you have a music player icon you can quick nav to.
So this is primarily used to listen to music or audiobooks, and you know, if you download say the Audible app, you can listen to audiobooks. Peter, before we went on camera, you tested the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
Yes.
How did it sound?
The onboard sound was good. It's obviously not as good as the technology coming from a tablet or a smartphone, but it's passable, and if you pair that with decent headphones, anything from Apple, Maxell, Sony, stuff like that, you can get decent sound out of it.
So it was stereo, right?
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Let's take a look at the PDF experience.
So we're going to click and go back. We have the Dungeons & Dragons Monsters Manual. This is our go-to, and we've kept this one for years because it remains consistent with all of our tests. So this is what it looks like by default. You can do a couple things like pinching and zooming. Pinching and zooming is painfully slow and tremendously inaccurate, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a bug with it. So if I pinch and zoom and let go, try to let it do its thing, but sometimes I don't know why it went that big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll double tap to hopefully get out of that. We'll look at some other options we have here. We have quick nav, screen setting, we can fit to width or fit to corners. We have progress bars, mini, clip margins, or reflow. Let's try reflow because we know a lot of European e-readers have reflow. So what this does is strip away most, if not all, the pictures and justifies everything to the left. And what that does is give you a very good reading experience.
Yeah, look at how like fast like the page turns are, like super quick.
So we'll get out of reflow here.
It's really hard to get PDF right. Even like Amazon and Kobo, as much money as they throw at it, they've still not perfected it.
Yeah, I know.
So I kind of take PDFs like with a grain of salt. It's like if the big boys can't get it right, what hope is there for smaller companies? But it's passable. Yeah. I'd probably recommend that if you're reading PDFs, throw it in reflow mode.
I would say so. You have a 4-way rotate, same as a book, and publisher information. So it's not too bad. You can use, as you saw, we adjusted the contrast a little bit. Page turns are fast even with the full formatted, but you can't really pinch and zoom that well.
It's true. So this e-reader is very capable of reading a multitude of ebook formats. I like the fact that it is running Android. Energy System basically released 3 new e-readers at the same time. This is the higher end model. It's about 119 euros, and it's the only one that has Android, a front light, and has a touch screen. So I think it has a lot of things going for it, and it's fairly rare that we do see a company running an e-reader that is e-ink, that has an open Android version. So far, Onyx has been really and Icarus have been the only 2 companies to release e-readers with Android, and now we're finally starting to see more companies join in on that bandwagon. And that was my prediction of 2015. Is this is the year where companies en masse start to embrace the Android concept on e-readers, because it really gives you a tremendous amount of freedom.
Yes.
E-readers, from the day that they got made until now, there's very few that don't run Linux. Everyone runs Linux. It's very limiting in the respect that what you get when you open up the box on day one is the same experience you'll have when the e-reader is on its last legs,
Right.
and it's like gasping for its final breath.
It was gasping right out of the box.
Totally, like the Jetbook Mini.
Oh no!
So yeah, we've seen
it all.
We've seen it all, but I think this e-reader is a very good investment. It's open. It doesn't lock you into any specific ecosystem. I wish the PDF experience was a little bit more fluid, but I mean, I'm sure that you could download Repligo, which is one of the best PDF readers out there, or even just like Adobe PDF Reader.
Right.
There has to be some sort of solution out there to appeal towards the PDF lovers. But for people that are reading CHM, EPUB, Mobi, this e-reader could read it all. So I think that you should get it. I really do recommend this. So thanks for watching, everyone, for a review of the Energy System PRO. My name is Michael.
My name's Peter.
Everybody take care.